Hi friends, and welcome to a new series on my YouTube channel called Beauty Battles. In this series I'm going to be finding the best and the most popular makeup products, and I'm going to put them to the test. We're going to compare them. I'm going to tell you the pros, the cons. I'm going to show you a demo of the products, and the best part here is that you are going to be the judge. You're going to say who is going to be the winner. Please make sure to be proactive in this series and make sure to leave a comment at the end of this video telling me what do you think is the best makeup products, because in one of my next videos the best performing makeup products are going to be challenged by more affordable ones of the same kind. The whole goal here is going to be to find the very best makeup products. So if you're ready to join me on a journey to find the very best makeup products out there, make sure to subscribe now. I would love to welcome you to our community. The first episode of Beauty Battles is going to be dedicated to the bronzers. We're going to put to the test some of the most popular and some of the newest and most wanted bronzers. Today's contestants are going to be the iconic, the one and only Chanel Original Cream Bronzer. I'm not going to be including the travel size bronzer because it is a different formula and it does not deserve to be in this series, because this one goes bad in a few months and it's not a good formula compared to this one. So we're testing the original Chanel cream bronzer, then the beauty editor's favorite, the Cwise cream bronzer. Moving on to Rare Beauty stick bronzer. Powder bronzers, one of the most popular bronzers out there, the Terracotta by Guerlain. Then we're moving on to one of the most unique texture bronzers and the most expensive ones in my collection, and this is the Sisley Gel Formula Bronzer. Then we're moving on to the newest bronzer released by YSL, the All Hours Bronzer. Then we have Dior, the limited edition summer bronzer, and just for the sake of the competition, I'm going to allow also the RMS bronzer to enter the competition because it is a new bronzer. I know that a lot of people love it. This is the Redimension Hydra Bronzer. It is supposed to have a unique formula. This one does not stand a chance among the other ones, and you're going to see why in a minute. We're going to be starting with the cream bronzers first, and I'm going to give you a quick review of each of the bronzers along with the demo and swatches, and the bronzers are going to be filmed in natural light. Starting with Chanel's Le Beige Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. This is one of the most beautiful cream bronzers that I have ever used, and luckily for all of us, Chanel did not change this one yet. And it's definitely one of my personal favorites. This is a lightweight cream bronzer. It comes in 3 different colors, and my perfect color and my personal favorite is 392 Soleil Tan Medium Bronze because it has this beautiful caramel color. This bronzer is versatile. It can be used under foundation, on top of foundation, or it can be used alone to give a healthy glow. It can be used for sculpting, and it can be used also all over the face. It is easy to use, easy to blend. It has been around for many years. It was reformulated a couple of years ago, but the quality is just as good as the old bronzers of Chanel. I prefer this one over the travel sized bronzers. This one has a different formula and it's not good because it dries out in a few months. So I would not recommend you spending money on the travel sized bronzers from Chanel. The formula is different. This one is going to start to appear patchy in a few months and it's going to start to dry out. Something very important about the Chanel cream bronzer is that you have to keep the lid right here, otherwise the cream bronzer is going to dry out. According to Chanel, this cream bronzer can be used for 12 months after opening, but I always use these bronzers for a few years and they are usually good to be used for 2, even 3 years, of course. Make sure to check the scent, but the scent is a light scent. It's the signature scent of the Le Beige line. It doesn't bother me, and I don't think that it's going to bother most people. It just adds to the luxury experience. You couldn't possibly go through this whole bronzer unless you are a makeup artist. It's one of the most beautiful, the most lightweight and gorgeous products. It contains coconut oil, which is the reason why a lot of people try to avoid this one because they are scared that it's going to cause breakouts. I have very sensitive skin that is prone to breakouts. It has never caused problems for me personally, so maybe if you're in doubt, go ahead to a Chanel counter and try it out for yourself. But I think that this is one of the most beautiful cream bronzers that I have ever owned, and I hope that Chanel are never going to touch this one. They reformulated it a few years ago, but the formula is still as good, still absolutely gorgeous. Next, we're moving on to the favorite bronzer of a lot of beauty editors. You're often going to see this one in magazines, and this is the Cwise Cream Bronzer. This is one of the newer cream bronzers that I have tried. I believe that it was released about a year and a half ago, and I have to say that this is one of the most beautiful cream bronzers that I have used. It's very easy to use, whether with fingertips or with a brush. This one feels a little bit more emollient compared to the Chanel bronzer, but it's equally beautiful. It looks very natural on the skin. It blends like a dream. You can blend it with fingertips or with a brush. I personally find that this one works best when it's applied with fingertips, and then if you want to blend it more quickly, you can use a brush to blend it. It melts into the skin so beautifully. It's very lightweight, and you can use it to sculpt the face or just to add a healthy glow to the skin. You can use it without foundation, on top of foundation, or under foundation. It's all up to you to decide. It comes in a refillable packaging, and the packaging is available in two different versions. This is the standard Cwise packaging, which is the one that I prefer. They also have a red packaging, which is a little bit more affordable, but it's less durable. This one is going to last for so many years that you can literally leave it as an heirloom to your daughter. The packaging is really stable. It's quite heavy. For traveling, probably the red packaging is going to be a better choice. Cwise is a clean beauty brand. It's cruelty-free, and it also has met the strict European regulations for clean beauty. Cwise is one of my favorite clean beauty brands because the products last for a long time. I still haven't used this one for that long to say how long it's going to last, but judging from their cream blushes, the cream blushes last me for way more than a year. These products can be used for 1 year. I usually use the Cwise blushes for a year and a half, but I also have cream blushes from Cwise that are 3 years old and they still are good. I don't use them, but they don't usually go bad. This one does not have any fragrance. Maybe if you get very, very close to the product, you may, and if you're very sensitive with your nose, you could possibly feel some of the oils, because this one has a blend of oils and it has a blend of skincare ingredients in here. But I would say that this is one of the best cream bronzers that I have ever used. It is long lasting. It doesn't emphasize pores, texture on the skin, and I would say that it's suitable for all skin types. Moving on to Rare Beauty Stick Bronzer. This is one of the most beautiful bronzers again, and it's a more affordable alternative compared to the Chanel Cream Bronzer. This one is a lot more affordable, and it's very handy, very comfortable to put it in your handbag, and because it's a stick bronzer, it's very easy to use it. It's very easy to sculpt the face with this product. The main downside of this product is that on the box it says that it can be used for 12 months, but mine is 7 months old and it already started to smell funny. And once a product starts to smell and changes its smell and starts to smell differently, this means that it's going bad and you have to declutter it. You could safely replace Chanel with this bronzer. It looks equally beautiful as the Chanel bronzer, depending on the color that you're going to choose. This one does not have any fragrance. It's clean beauty from Selena Gomez, but it is 7 months and it goes bad. It's not pleasant to be used. I'm going to show you a demo of this product, then I'm washing my face right away because I do not feel like I can use this product on my face anymore. So if you're willing to buy this product and use it within 7 months and then declutter it, I think that it's an excellent choice. It's a beautiful product. Again, it doesn't emphasize pores or texture. It blends into the skin beautifully. It can be used under foundation, on top of foundation, or alone on its own just to sculpt the face during those long summer days when you don't feel like wearing makeup. I think that it's an excellent product for the price. It's just is clean beauty, and it's a false claim in my opinion that this can last for 12 months. Maybe it's going to be good to be used a few more months, but I wouldn't risk it. And plus I dislike the scent of the product now, and it's the 7th month since I first started to use this one. So overall, these 3 cream bronzers are excellent quality. I don't think that you can go wrong, with the exception of this one. You have to use it. If you buy it, you have to use it, and you cannot rely about the Rare Beauty bronzer that you can use it for 12 months. This is the only exception here. All 3 bronzers are absolutely beautiful, and if I had to pick only one, I was probably going to go for Chanel, and in particular the color Soleil Tan Medium Bronze just matches my skin tone perfectly. But I would get Cwise if I want to travel, because it's very small and I can travel light with this one. Don't forget to leave me a comment and let me know what is your winner here. We're moving on to powder bronzers. For powder bronzers, we're starting with the iconic Guerlain powder bronzer. Guerlain's terracotta bronzers are some of the most popular bronzers, and they recently made them refillable. I have a few of those. They often launch limited edition bronzers, but here I'm going to be reviewing the permanent collection of Guerlain's powder bronzers. They feel very lightweight on the skin. I also like the color range, and also for people who have fair skin tone like me, the color 00 Light Cool is perfect. This is one of my favorite powder bronzers. It's very lightweight. It doesn't look like powder. It doesn't completely mattify the skin. It is a matte bronzer, and you're going to see on the close-ups that it does have, when I give you a good close-up, you can see the teeniest bit of, almost, they look like reflective particles, but they are completely undetectable on the skin. This is almost like a no powder effect. It's not able to blur any pores or imperfections, but it's just going to add a light veil of color to the cheeks. I personally love this one because it has a nice cool color, and I can use it to sculpt my face and all over the face sometimes. It all depends. Maybe one of the downsides of this bronzer is that you have to build it up a little bit, but then on the other hand, it's very suitable for beginners because you are allowed to make mistakes with this bronzer. With a lot of bronzers, if you are not light-handed, or if you make a mistake, it's usually hard to blend the bronzers. One advantage of this bronzer is that if you are a beginner, you have enough time to work with this bronzer and to build it up. So it's going to take some time for you to build up the color on this bronzer because the powder is a little bit more firm to the touch. This bronzer also has a quite strong scent. This is the most fragrance bronzers out of everything that I'm going to be showing in today's video. I personally adore the terracotta scent. However, it is a very particular scent, and if you're sensitive to fragrances, this might be bothering you because you're going to feel the fragrance on your skin even after applying the bronzer for a little while, like for approximately 5 to 10 minutes. I can still feel the fragrance on my skin. Other than that, it is a beautiful bronzer, and now they are refillable. The packaging is classic, the classic Guerlain packaging. It's nothing special, but at the same time, it feels very elegant and timeless. Next, we are moving on to one of the most unique bronzers in terms of texture, and this is the gel powder formula by Sisley. They only have one color available, and this is certainly going to be one of the biggest downsides of the bronzer because this color is not going to appeal to everyone. I think that it's one of the universally flattering colors, but you have to decide for yourself whether you like this color or not. It has a light luminosity and definitely has the most unique texture of a powder bronzer. I much prefer this one over the Chantecaille gel powder products because with Chantecaille you never know what is going to be the quality of the product. Sometimes their quality is good, sometimes it's bad, and the price is sky high. So I do not recommend, and I'm not going to show here on this channel, Chantecaille makeup. I do not believe also in their marketing campaigns because they only donate if you make purchases through the US website, which is something that I do not appreciate, which is why I will not be reviewing Chantecaille on my channel. But the Sisley gel powder bronzer is excellent quality if you enjoy the color. It does not contain shimmery particles, but it gives a very subtle glow to the skin. On The box here, it says that it can be used for 18 months, but you can use it a lot more than 18 months. The packaging is quite luxurious. It's gold. It has the Sicily sign here. And overall, this is one of the best quality bronzers that I have in my collection. The only downside here is that there is only one shade available. And I wish that there were more shades available, especially for this price point, because this color is not going to be flattering on absolutely everyone. And plus, I wish I could have more colors to choose from, because this one, even though it looks beautiful on my skin, I wish I could have more choices and more colors to choose from. Next, we're moving on to one of the newly released bronzers this year, and this is the All Hours bronzer from YSL. The packaging is absolutely beautiful and it's very detailed. It is an imitation of a leather here. It's this beautiful brown leather and the YSL sign. It also has stitching on the packaging, which is truly stunning. One thing that you have to know about the YSL bronzer is that this one contains talc. This is one of the, think of it as an old school bronzer. So if you're someone who misses the old school bronzers, the one bronzer that is going to literally blur pores and imperfections, this is going to be your choice, and this is going to be the perfect product for you. So if you have texture on the skin, or if you have some dilated pores, also if you have oily skin, and if you tend to shine during the summer months, this is the most forgiving when it comes to the texture. The texture is silky smooth. It's, as I mentioned, old school bronzer, and it's a real pleasure to apply this one to the skin. It just blends so beautifully, and it blurs pores, it blurs imperfections like no other bronzer in my collection. This is just the good old school bronzer. I personally am not afraid to use this bronzer, even though it contains talc, because this is a bronzer that was made in France, and France is always very strict when it comes to personal care products. And I'm pretty sure that this one contains good quality talc, which is not dangerous. So personally, for me, for myself, I am happy to use this one, because I also enjoy the feel of a good old school bronzer, old school powder, because all of the newer powders very much, let's say the Sicily bronzer, a very good one, but it's not going to blur pores or imperfections on the skin. Also the new Guerlain bronzer, it does give a subtle color, but it's not capable of actually giving this blurred effect on the skin. The only bronzer here in today's video that is capable of actually blurring pores and giving this soft focus effect is going to be the YSL bronzer, for which I really enjoy and have been enjoying to use it a lot. And it does not contain any fragrance. One thing that you have to know about this bronzer is that I'm using the shade 02, even though I have fair skin tone, because 01 is way too pale for me. It's beautiful for people who have really fair skin tone. Even if you're paler than me and you want a natural looking bronzer, then 01 is going to be for you. But for me personally, I prefer 02 because it does give me this more beautiful color on the skin. Next, we're moving on to the new limited edition bronzer from Dior, and this is one of the most beautiful releases from the summer 2024 makeup collections. The embossing of the bronzer is beautiful, the packaging is gorgeous, and this bronzer feels quite powdery. This one is closest to the YSL bronzer in terms of feel on the skin. The main difference here is that with the YSL bronzer, you are allowed to make mistakes. The biggest downside of the Dior bronzer is that it is very pigmented, so you have to be light-handed and there is a little bit of a learning curve. Also, make sure to choose a color of this Dior bronzer that is going to match your skin tone. If you choose a color that is darker, you might have difficulties to blend this out. The main issue here is that once I dip my brush, even when I tap it on the back of my hand, I'm getting a lot of product all at once, which can be hard to blend initially. Other than that, it's a beautiful product. It does have a light blurring effect, not as much as the YSL bronzer, but still you get this kind of a blurring effect. And I would say that the little line here of the peach color or the pink color are not really going to affect the bronzers that much. I've swatched all of them them in store, and I was wondering if I want to get the one with the pink rim, but I thought that it's going to be a waste of money for me because when I swatch them on my arm, they are not that different. And then also, when you apply them to the face, they couldn't possibly be different. So this is about the Dior bronzer. It does contain fragrance, and it is the typical Dior fragrance that a lot of their face powders contain. The scent of the Dior bronzer is lighter compared to the terracotta bronzer, and once I apply the Dior bronzer to my face, I do not feel the fragrance anymore, which is not the case with the Guerlain bronzer. With the Guerlain bronzer, I can definitely feel it a little while after I apply it to my face. I can still feel the fragrance lingering, and the fragrance stays with me. And finally, it's time to review the new RMS Beauty Redimension Hydra Bronzer, which is part of this video only because of the undeserved positive reviews that this product is getting. Otherwise, I would not put this product in this video. First of all, we're starting with the packaging, which feels very cheap, and I do not think that it deserves this high price tag. At least for the packaging, I think they could put a little bit more effort because this packaging here feels very cheap. I also mentioned in one of my previous videos that the opening of the packaging is so hard, and if you have natural nails like me, or if you use your own nail polish, a few times opening this packaging and the nails are going to be ruined. Also, it ruins my nail polish, and I do not think that the luxury makeup product should be ruining my nails and also the nail polish, because my nail polish apparently costs money as well. So I'm losing money just by using this one and by ruining my nails. Nobody loves to their nails ruined. Other than that, the packaging is refillable, but the claims of this bronzer, the Redimension Hydra bronzer, there's nothing Hydra about this bronzer. When I touch the Sisley bronzer, it definitely feels like it has a gel to powder formula. When I touch this bronzer, it just feels so powdery. It just feels like a powdery bronzer. I do not think that it looks very flattering on the skin too. It's not a bad bronzer, it doesn't look that bad on the skin, but it doesn't give me a flattering effect. It's not something that is blurring my skin. It doesn't give me a blurred look like, let's say, the YSL bronzer or the Dior bronzer. It overall, it doesn't make me happy when I'm using this bronzer. The only positive here is the positive reviews that this product is getting, the undeserved positive reviews. This is just my personal opinion. I know that a lot of people love this bronzer, but for me, this is a complete fail, and I don't even know how to assess this product. Certainly, I'm going to try the blushes as well, but if the formula of the blushes is the same as the bronzer, I'm not going to be very impressed. It is just that the name is impressive, because the name is Redimension Hydra Bronzer, and this name suggests that it's going to be like a hydrating bronzer, like a bronzer that is going to be more special in some way, and I don't feel it to be special. It has an interesting texture because it is probably, they were aiming for a bronzer like Sisley, one that is going to give a subtle luminosity to the skin without it having shimmers, but I think that this one was unsuccessful. I think that they should work a little bit more. With that being said, I'm willing to try more products from RMS, and this is the very first makeup product that I'm trying from the brand. I'm not impressed with the quality, not for the price. It is okay product, but I don't feel it luxury. I feel like for this packaging, I would want to pay a drugstore price, and also the performance of the product didn't wow me. So this one is the only fail of the video. Now, if I were to say my winners among the powder bronzers that I showed in this video, I'm going to say the YSL bronzer and the Guerlain bronzer. I wish I could say that the Sisley could be the winner, but for that price tag, I really want to have a little bit more variety of colors. This one is not my favorite color. I adore the texture. The texture is the winner for me, but the color, I feel like if they had a little bit more variety, I was going to choose a different color. This does not complement exactly my skin tone the way I want it to be. And since the high price tag, it's a very pricey product, and they claim that it's universally flattering. I agree up to a point. It looks flattering on a lot of skin tones, but you couldn't tell that one color is going to be flattering on absolutely everyone, because there are a lot of people who have paler skin tone than mine. There are a lot of people with deep tan skin tone. This couldn't possibly work for all of us, and that's why this is not going to be my winner, but the texture is truly outstanding. My winners are Guerlain and YSL. YSL because it is my bronzer every time when I want my skin to feel blurred, like I have a light filter on the face, a real light filter. I use this bronzer. This powder bronzer gives me a similar blurring effect to the effect that the oversized Chanel Healthy Glow bronzing powder used to give me. It was a limited edition powder that I still have in my collection. It used to give this blur, instant blur to the skin. Then my other favorite is the Guerlain bronzer, just because it's very lightweight. I like that it's a nice cool toned bronzer, and it's one of the few beautifully done cool toned bronzers that I have. I also love the fragrance of the terracotta scents. It always makes me feel very luxurious when I use it, and I like the fact that I can make mistakes with this bronzer. I can just build it up to the point that I want, and I don't have to worry that if I am not very careful, I'm going to apply too much. So the reason why I love this one is because I can literally apply this one early in the morning when I wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning, and if I want to very quickly do my makeup, I usually use this one or the YSL. At the end of this video, let's take a quick look of all of the cream bronzers together, how they look on my face, and then all of the powder bronzers, so that this can help you decide which one is going to be the winner. I can't wait to read your comments, and I'm very curious to know what are going to be your winners, because the winners are then going to be challenged by other makeup products, and I want to see if I can find even better quality makeup products than the ones that I currently showed you. So I'm constantly going to be looking, and I'm constantly going to be searching for high quality makeup products. I want to find the best makeup products for us so that we can enjoy really good high quality makeup. Thank you so much for spending time with me, for watching the first episode of Beauty Battles, and I have a very exciting second episode in Beauty Battles. Until next time, take care, bye!